M&P 2.0 Subcompact. Shot to the left, a lot to the left. My sights on right. All right, so as that target moves back, what you're going to see is not such a great day. I have some high to the right and a lot low to the left, and that was immediately what I saw when I started first shooting this handgun. Again, ultimately, that is on me 100%. That has really nothing to do with the performance or the overall performance of the gun. I do know what was causing me to kind of jerk that gun low to the left was definitely my trigger control. I am not a fan of the hinge trigger, not making any excuses because I definitely could have done better. However, what you're going to see in the tabletop is me kind of giving you an explanation as to what I think is the problem with the trigger for me personally as a shooter. I'm not a fan. Although as the day went on, you know, and you throw 350 rounds through a gun, hopefully you improve. And I think that's where I'm getting to at this point. I am starting to get a lot more center shots. And even though some of them aren't going dead in the red, I am getting them closer to that tighter group. And that's where I want to be ultimately. Now, overall, I would never consider myself a marksman shot at all by any stretch of the imagination. However, at the same time, I would always say that, you know, when you're doing a self-defense shoot, and you're trying to shoot a target, you're going to have a pretty big mass in front of you. And I always try to get center, or at least close to center, to get some soft tissue if I have to. Again, am I an expert? No, not by any means, and that's very obvious in this video. But at the end of the day, I have to say I was fairly happy with what was going on and how things were responding and how I was responding to try to get it back on track. All right, guys, welcome back to the table. 2.0 Subcompact, 1776 Robust. This gun is awesome. Now, first off, I didn't shoot it too well. Now, that is not the fault of this gun at all. It is my fault. I took too many guns that are similar to this, and I shouldn't have done it. It just wasn't a good idea. And it was interesting, though, because I did find out that out of the 3 guns that I took, this being one of the 3, this gun recoils less. And it recoils less than the P10S, and it definitely recoils less than the Vp9 Sk, which I thought was very interesting. And it's good to know for anybody who's interested in those 3 guns and what the recoil pattern feels like. This little guy right here has a lot of things going for it. First off, the compatibility with all the other M&P 2.0 or even 1.0 magazines, that kind of stuff. That's great, guys. That's fantastic. Now, in regards to some of the other things about this gun that actually stood out to me was that lack of recoil. Even with the flat base plate in this gun did not feel snappy at all. It was extremely controllable, very manageable, even though you can see that my pinky is basically sitting off the bottom of this magazine base plate. Again, when you carry, it's up to you how you choose to do it. For me, I'm going to be carrying it with this. I do like the pinky extension. As a matter of fact, I'm probably going to ditch this flat base plate and go with a pinky extension on this because I do like the way this fits in my hand better. And I've got to say, you're not giving up a lot of, I guess you can say, visibility when it comes to this magazine. So to kind of give you an idea, I've carried this gun for a long time. I've had this gun for a couple of years. I absolutely love the 2.0 Compact. It's just a great, solid performer. There's been no failures. I've got probably now, geez, maybe, I don't know, 4,000 rounds through this gun, and I love it. It performs. Now, to this, when you look at the Subcompact, a lot of people will say, well, why would you get it? I mean, you're going to get that shorter barrel. Obviously, we know that. It's the 3.6. But more importantly, one of the things you have to realize is if you do carry this concealed, even with this pinky extension, you're cutting off this section of the grip. And that's the grip that you want to hide anyway, because that's what's going to print the most. So with this little slant right here, you're kind of doing away with this portion. Again, if you choose to go with the flat base plate, and you may, this is what you're giving up in regards to grip length. So you're giving up this amount right here. So that's a good amount. So this is a very concealable handgun. And more importantly, it isn't much bigger and much fatter and much heavier than the Shield. And so that's why I think some people have kind of discounted this as kind of a, you know, who needs it? It's an old gun. It's the 1.0 with some new clothes. But at the same time, these were good as the 1.0. And I think they're better with the upgrades of the 2.0. Now, I also shot it with the UTG +0. And this is pretty cool. I do like this. This does not add much to the grip at all. You're actually going to have just a little bit more on the bottom if this was the compact gun, but this is not. but you do get a little bit more pinky. Now, one of the things I thought when I was shooting it, I was going to definitely feel this grab into my hand. I have to say I did not feel it at all. It does not cut into your hand at all. It's very comfortable. It sits very well. So overall, this is a great setup the way this is. Now, of course, you can use the longer magazines, for example, and this one has some, oh my God, ammunition in it. But one of the things you're going to realize is as long as you put the collar on here, guys, you have no problem carrying with a full-size grip. Okay, and this is actually the compact grip, so it's not really even the full-size kind of grip. You can actually get full-size magazines and then get the collar and put that in there as well. Now, I didn't shoot it with either one of those because I know I'm not going to carry it that way. So for me, it was, I know how this holds and I know how this shoots. So it's basically going to be the same thing, in my opinion. All the controls on the handgun, fantastic. There's no issues here. Takedown lever works well. You can see the positive ejection of the magazines. They come right out. No issues with that. The slide lock works very well. Oh, look, it even lets go of the slide. So everything works really well. Sight picture was a little bit off. I think my sights are off, a little bit misaligned, so I've got to fix that, but that's on me. Again, the finish on the gun, it still looks really good even after 350 rounds. For those of you who are concerned about maybe, I guess you can say heat dispersion, and the reason being is because you have that steel frame in here, I did not feel this thing heat up at all. I shot 350 rounds through it. It maintained its whatever you want to call it, its temperature, although I did not have a thermometer. But at the same time, it felt really comfortable. I didn't have to worry about my thumb starting to singe on it. One of the things I noticed about the P320X carry was that sucker started heating up pretty good. But this one, I didn't really feel anything. And that, again, that's a plus. Position of hands is very good. You do get some support here on the serrated area here of the takedown lever for your thumb. Some other manufacturers could take a lesson in that in regards to compact guns like this, Vp9 Sk. And overall, everything performed the way it should. Always locked back. The slide never had an issue locking back at all. So there was no issues with thumb placement. So if you're a high holder like I am, you don't have to worry about holding that slide release, slide lock so that the slide does not lock back. So, I mean, if I had one gripe about this gun, and I don't think there's going to be anybody that's going to be, wow, what a surprise. It's going to be the trigger. This trigger for me just doesn't work. Now, I know there's going to be people in the comments saying, well, it doesn't work because you suck. And that's probably right. Maybe it's true. I don't know. But at the same time, it doesn't work for me. I don't know if it works for you, and I hope it does. But for me, it does not. And the reason being is when I get my finger in there, I just don't like the position of the way my finger is. I don't feel like my finger is straight. I feel like it's kind of curving down into this little hook area. So a lot of times when you shoot that 90-degree angle trigger or that flat face trigger like this, for example. So for example, with the Apex trigger, it's a larger trigger face, and you're going to see that my finger is going straight across that trigger face. With the M&P 2.0 Subcompact or any of the M&Ps, I can't get that straight feeling trigger. So instead of it going straight back, the trigger feels like it's going down, and I don't like that. And that's, to me, one of the biggest problems I have shooting it with this trigger. So I do have the Apex trigger right here. That sucker's going on, and I'm going to take it back to the range because I know I can improve my shooting with this gun because it is a fantastic handgun. I mean, overall, there's no way for me to convince you one way or another that this gun is worth your money. Right now, I've been looking on Gunbroker to see if there's any more out there that I paid in regards to about I think it was $360 something. I posted on Instagram. You guys can check it out. But one of the things I definitely would say is that if you're interested in a double stack subcompact handgun, and you're looking at, let's say, the PPQ, or you're looking at a Vp9 Sk, even though I don't really know if it's a subcompact, you've looked at the Glock 26s and some other guns that are out there. You don't really want a single stack. You don't really want a 365, but you want something that's small, concealable, but still shoots really well. Honestly, guys, I don't think you can go wrong with this. I think this is what fits everybody's criteria. It is an extremely manageable handgun. You have different compatibilities for magazines. So if you want to use a flat base plate, you can. If you want to go up and use compact size or full size, you can do that as well. So it has that ability to do all of that. Again, form and structure is really good. The polymer is very rigid. You get a very good, nice, texturing on the grip, which honestly, this is still the best texturing. I think really the only one close to this that I have felt and been super, super happy with is probably the APX line. But this has got to be one of the best grip textures out on the market. The slide finish is really nice. All of the looks of this, with this all being cut out, everything looks really nice on the gun. And more importantly, the gun works flawlessly. 350 rounds for this, no problems. going up in the several thousand rounds on this, no problems. It speaks for itself. And overall, I have to recommend this gun. I think you guys should take a look at it. And I think if you can find it for a good price and you're interested in the M&P line and you want to carry it, this would be a great one to go for, just because of the compatibilities for magazines, the fit and finish, the fact that it is very reliable at this point at 350 and probably then some. The fact that the recoil is very light due to the steel frame inside here, so you're not even getting a lot of torsion or flex in the frame, which is good. And the fact that you have a really good, healthy aftermarket for the gun if you choose to do stuff with it. I think overall this is a winner, and I would highly recommend it. Tell me what you think down below. I mean, what do you really think about this gun? I think it's going to be interesting to see if people's opinions change. If anybody has now had an experience with this gun prior to the first video being put out, I always want to hear what you guys have to say about it. So I hope you have a great night. Stay safe. And as always, everyone, freedom is never free.